Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone, and we are joined today by our biggest guest ever, Joshua Block. You've seen him on TikTok, you've seen him on Instagram, you've seen him everywhere, aka World of T-Shirts, aka the Captain. Welcome to Cleveland, Josh. We're happy you're able to join us today, buddy.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here too.
Yeah.
What do you think of Cleveland so far, Josh?
I don't know. I literally just got here this morning.
So this is the first stop. This is the first stop on your trip, right?
No, I was in St. Louis.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. So we saw the content from St. Louis. What were you up to out there?
I was throwing a big ass party for Mardi Gras.
Did you have a good time?
Yes.
Lots of beads, right? Had to have some beads out
Yeah,
there.
where did the beads go? We've lost the beads from the Mardi Gras videos.
I just got rid of them.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
Alrighty, so for those that don't know, Josh is a massive social media celebrity, big on TikTok, big on Instagram, and we're here today to talk about a little bit of it all. So, Josh, why don't we start at the top? The World of T-Shirts name is something that confused a lot of the older people that work here. Like when we said we were bringing World of T-Shirts there at Cleveland, they were like, "Why does he go by World of T-Shirts?" So I'll let you. Do you want to explain why is it World of T-Shirts?
I have a whole line of merch that I sell.
Okay, yes. And we have we're going to collab on a shirt for the trip to Cleveland. We have a special shirt that we made that's going to be on the World of T-Shirts website, Crash Out in Cleveland shirt. So go check it out on Josh's website. When did you start making content, though? So World of T-Shirts has been around on social. When did the content aspect of it start?
Around 2019, late 2019.
Late 2019.
Was content just something that you always wanted to do, growing up, or
It
just
has
one day
been.
hit you?
It's always been my dream to be famous.
Was there any people who maybe when you were growing up, you wanted to be famous like them, or you kind of liked the way that they did content?
I wanted to be famous in some way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did early on, did it maybe look different? When I was growing up, I thought I was gonna play in the NBA. I was convinced. But then around 7th or 8th grade, I only grew to be 5'8", and most NBA players are much taller than that. So was it did you always know that it was gonna be social media fame? Did you think that it was gonna be something else, or you kind of just didn't know?
I didn't know what it would be.
That's fair. What was the early? So I followed you for a while. So I remember the coffee and boba when that was big. We could talk about that. We could talk about the Empire State of Mind. But what was your first big viral video that you could remember?
I got some crickets from outside and I boiled them and ate them.
Okay.
I've had alligator before, and that was the craziest food to me.
I did too.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Is it chicken kinda?
A little bit.
That's what they always say. But what would you say is the craziest food that you've had? Is it crickets?
That's pretty crazy.
The craziest food I've had was rabbit. I've had frog before.
Where'd you have frog at?
Reindeer.
Reindeer. Is that similar to the deer, venison?
Is that yeah.
I've had venison too.
But different from reindeer.
It's different from reindeer.
Okay.
The reindeer I had was in Norway.
In Norway. So the cricket video, that goes viral on what, TikTok?
Yes.
Okay. And this was probably around that same 2019 timeline?
It was.
Gotcha. I remember then, fast forward a little bit because I don't remember the cricket video, but I remember the coffee and boba stuff and exploring New York. And it kind of felt like you were, carving out a big niche of touring New York, showing off New York.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about what New York means to you, because I know that's a place that's very near and dear to your heart.
New York, it's the city where dreams come true. It's very cultural, diverse.
That's for sure.
There's a lot of fun things to do.
That's what I was going to ask you, Josh. So I've actually never been to New York City before. I've only been to Buffalo up in New York. What would be if there's one thing I'd have to do if I was in Manhattan, for example, what would you say I need to go do?
You need to walk in Central Park.
That's a
I've
good,
always heard that's
a
cool.
good recommendation. I've been to New York a couple times, and it's almost like it's. And Josh, you've been all around the world, so I'm sure you could speak to this. It's a very different atmosphere out there in terms of life. There is just fast. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna take Josh to a Cavs game in a little bit, and when you walk around at a Cavs game, it's completely different than when you walk around in New York. Like people are always in a hurry. There's always a lot going on in New York. Don't mind our photographer, Pat, walking in.
Oh.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the cool people you met, because you were just down in Mardi Gras with John Summit, correct?
We missed John Summit.
Gotcha.
We were on the stage, but then we had to get off the stage because too many cameramen were on it.
Oh, really?
Oh, too many people?
Yeah.
Josh, what's your favorite kind of music? What were they playing in Mardi Gras in St. Louis?
Just regular music.
Yeah. So it looked to be a massive party. I saw you had like the megaphone talking out to the fans.
Yes.
That's awesome. Where does St. Louis rank on your favorite cities? Because you've been all over. St. Louis is a very unique spot, though, that it seems like you continue to bounce back to.
St. Louis is one of the higher cities on my list.
Okay, let's talk about some of the places that you've been. So again, for people that are new to Josh's content, you travel all around different countries. How many countries are we at? What's the running total?
13 in Europe, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Bermuda.
So it's like 16 or 17.
16, 17?
Yes.
That's awesome. All right, so we got to get a list. Favorite, we need the favorite, absolute favorite spot.
I liked Italy a lot.
Cool. What was it about Italy?
The food, the scenery.
So do you like pasta a lot? Is that one of your go-to foods?
Yes.
I'm a big pasta fan too. Are you more of like do you like to make it yourself, or do you like to go and get it from somewhere, or just like someone else makes it at home? What's your go-to?
I get it at restaurants.
Get it at restaurants? Me too. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because I'm a little guy, so like I can't always drink a ton before I'm gonna have a meal. Like if you're having wine maybe with spaghetti, how many glasses of wine do you think you can have before the meal without ruining the meal?
Like 2 or 3.
2 or 3? Okay. That's about where my head was at. That makes sense.
All right, so if Italy is the favorite country, you knew this question had to be coming. Was there a least favorite trip that you've ever been on?
Not really.
Okay, that's good. I feel like that's actually very good that you've never been to a place that like you disliked. Like there's nowhere that you've been that you were like, I would never go back there.
No.
That's solid.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
super solid. Ryan, what do you got back there?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Italy, Josh. Like, that's always a place that I've always wanted to go. I haven't had the opportunity to travel much out of the United States. How does the traveling go? Do you prepare these trips in advance, or I feel like you're a spontaneous guy?
Spontaneous.
Yeah. All right. So I want to talk a little bit too about like your, growing up. What was your childhood like? I know you had a little bit of an athletic career, so you could get into that. But what was your childhood like?
a
Kind of growing up?
runner.
Running.
Do you know what event? Like, were you like a sprinter? Did you do like the longer distance?
Country.
Oh, cross country. That's hard to do. That takes a lot of skill to go out there and do that for that
Yeah.
long.
What was like the distance? Would you say
5K.
5Ks? Okay. So
What was
this
your time? Do you remember?
On a cross country, I did like 21.
Damn.
One time I did a 5K street race. It was completely flat,
Yeah.
and I did a 1911.
Oh wow.
Okay. So
That's impressive.
Yeah, and I know that's big in the running community. So the street race, you're able to go quicker than like an actual cross country meet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I used to do the street races, like in the community.
Yeah, and then you've since stopped running? It seems.
I have, cause I've been living in the city.
Gotcha. I mean, I feel like people still run in the city though a little bit.
Yeah.
Just makes it harder. I feel like New York, you have too many people on the streets. Probably that's where you get tangled up. You can't really do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That is true, especially
I
when you're
could
used
run in Central Park.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if that's a cool area, like what? Because I honestly don't know a ton about Central Park. Like I know in Madagascar they have animals in Central Park. Is there actually a zoo in Central Park?
The animated movie.
There is a zoo in Central Park.
Oh really? Do you like to go look at the animals there at all?
I don't go there. I go to the Bronx Zoo.
Okay.
Is theirs bigger or just better?
Bigger, way bigger.
What's your favorite animal to look at there?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
Alrighty. I also have on my list under cool people that Josh has met, Danny Duncan, who is one of my favorite, creators.
Yeah, I had a good time.
In Florida.
Yes.
It seems like he's one of these people that's just always up to something. What'd you guys get into when you went down there?
We blew up a car.
That was crazy.
I blew up a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like?
It was awkward.
Yeah.
Did it make you nervous at all at first to do it?
Yeah, it made me nervous.
And
Yeah.
he's obviously got like farm animals running around and like they're always like racing dirt bikes. Like it's always something going on when he's out there.
It freaked me out too when he stopped the car and like it tipped up a little bit. What was that like for you when you were in the car and that kind of happened?
It freaked me out.
Yeah, I would be the exact same way because did it go high enough where you're like looking down, thinking a little bit like, oh, are we gonna tip?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I also saw a clip. Let's not beat around the bush here because I think we've all seen the clip. I think you and Danny Duncan are trying to do like a first pitch or something.
We are.
Yeah. Are there details on that? Do you know where?
No, probably the Mets.
The New York Mets. That's
So,
cool.
Is that your favorite baseball team, Josh?
It is.
Okay, Met fan. Big off season. Do you follow sports closely? Usually, and Josh will let you. Usually, this is like a half sports, half pop culture show. So we do a lot of sports on here. Do you follow the Mets close or any of the New York sports that close?
I do.
Cool. What would
Who's your
you say?
favorite team in
Yeah,
New York?
how would you rank your New York fandom?
The Mets are my favorite team. They have been for years.
Juan Soto's going to help them too. And you said you went to a Knicks game at the Garden, right?
Yes.
How cool is the Garden? Because that's always like, as I said earlier, I've been in New York before. That's the kind of like venue or place that people talk about all the time being super duper cool to go to.
Madison Square Garden's really good.
It's like watching a game, Jack. If I had to explain it or describe it, it's
You
like
can't,
watching.
You can't get a bad seat at Madison Square Garden.
Really?
Because it's like a theater, and that's why it was such a mecca for fights and boxing and UFC. Because the lighting in there is like intimate. It's a very cool place.
Yeah.
Josh, I wanted to ask you, like, with going to sporting events or going to games, like we might go to the Cavs game later today. Do you like when you have crowds of people coming up to you to say hi and stuff, or like is that a distraction when you're at sporting events?
I do like it.
You do like it? Okay, so that's cool. Is there, if you had, because sometimes there can be too many people, obviously, also, right? What is like the good amount of number of people to say hi to at a game before it's too many?
That's a good question.
I don't really know.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And then another thing that, and we could just nip this in the butt here too. When there tends to be these big groups of people, it seems like they try egging you on or like trying to make you mad. Let's peel back some of the layers on the onions on that. It seems like people are sometimes out to try to get you to freak out a little bit.
They are.
What's the deal with that?
I don't know, really.
So it seems like when people tell you to put the fries in the bag, that just gets you, that like grinds your gears.
It does.
What about that phrase sets you off, would you say?
I don't know.
Do you think it's just something along the lines of like, if you're telling somebody to put the fries in the bag, like it's kind of like demeaning almost a little bit?
It is demeaning.
Yeah. Especially because you're like, you're just doing your own thing. You're going about your day. You're creating content. So when people start telling you to like put the fries in the bag, like you get mad, understandably.
Yes.
We got to think of a phrase for you to say back to people to like, so they don't have to like, so they stop coming at you. Like we got to one up them almost. Like you got to tell them, hey, I'm so famous and I'm so good at what I do
Yeah,
that
you
you're
put the-
coming out
you
of
put the
your
fries
way.
in the
You're
bag.
coming out of your way
I
to come
took
see
a-
me.
one time an MTA subway worker said it, and I basically said, "You clean poop off of toilet seats." And lucky for me, I make a lot of money and I'll never have to do that.
So that's kind of your get back a little bit, like you were
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, okay.
You tell them to put the fries in the bag.
Yeah.
Do you think we could broaden
I'm
that
not the
out
one
to everyone who does it,
cleaning
though?
poop off of toilet seats.
I will say, Josh, a lot of people would kill to, make money off of making content like you do. Like, that's such an
I
awesome
know.
thing. I want to ask you, like, what's your favorite part about making content? Is it like connecting with people, being able to put something out to an audience? Obviously, in today's
Yes.
day and age, you can connect with so many people so fast just through one video. I mean, you put out a video and it gets thousands, millions of views, right? Like, that's got to be so special.
It is special.
Is there ever a time when you get a certain amount of views where it's like, even though you get lots of views all the time, where you're still like, whoa, like that's pretty cool that I got this many views on this thing that I went to do? Like, you had an awesome trip with Tony in St. Louis yesterday that wrapped up. Like, is there any stuff there where you're like, whoa, this is super cool that I got to travel here and it did this well?
Yes.
Okay, that's
All
definitely
right,
cool.
talk a little bit. What was some of those best performing clips, would you say?
I don't know.
Okay, I remember like the Blue Lagoon stuff went pretty viral.
The Blue Lagoon, like
What is that? I've never heard of that before.
it's a hot spring in Iceland. Also, other things went viral. I danced in the Roman Colosseum.
Really? That's pretty cool. So that was during the
Yes.
Italy trip.
Yes.
Anything else that immediately comes to mind?
Not really.
Not really. All right. So going down this content journey, we have kind of, eating crickets going viral for the first time. And then the Empire State of Mind stuff was massive. Like, I remember there was an era where you were just on your phone, running around Times Square, screaming the
I
Jay-Z
still
song.
do make a lot of New York City content.
Yeah. So when you did you just start like thinking like, I'm gonna be the guy that shows off New York City? Because that's awesome. Like, we have people here and we're close with a lot
Yeah.
of like the big Cleveland accounts. Like, I'm from
Yes.
Cleveland Vibes, and all those people. So you wanted to be the guy that was like gonna show off New York.
Yes.
That's awesome. And then at what point did the content kind of pivot? Because I feel like now it's like a lot of drinking content, a lot of partying content. Like, at what point do you think that it made that pivot?
It's an all-in-one type of deal. There's like New York content, travel content, drinking content. It's become kind of an all-in-one type of vlog.
That's a good.
Yeah.
That's
Is-
definitely a good way to capture it.
Of those ones you talked about, like New York, drinking, traveling, which one is your favorite type of content to do?
Traveling.
Traveling. And it kind of feels like some of the drinking content and the traveling content tend to go hand in hand. Like, it seems like when you go to these cities internationally or, in the States, I mean, you just land and you start getting after it.
Well, if I'm in a foreign country or a city that I want to see, I go and see the sights, and then I'll like get drunk at night.
Okay, at night. And then
Yeah, so is drinking mainly a night thing for you, Josh?
I used to drink a lot during the day, so I do day drink sometimes, but mainly at night now.
So it seems like there was a kind of a stopping point or a scary moment that happened not too long ago, because we've had this trip booked for some time. You knew that you were going to come to Cleveland, but was there like a couple days in the hospital?
It wasn't related to alcohol. It was something that I ate.
Oh, like food poisoning?
Yes.
I had that one time pretty bad too. That's definitely not.
Yeah, but I
fun
feel
to
like
deal with.
food poisoning typically doesn't put you in the hospital. I mean,
It
how
did
long?
for me.
How long were you in there?
For a day.
For a
Just
day?
a day.
Gotcha. Because I feel like you didn't post for a little bit, and you had some.
I was like sleeping a lot after I got out of the hospital.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
smart. Sometimes you just got to make back up that.
Josh,
energy,
I
too.
gotta ask, do you ever get hungover in the mornings? Because it seems like you can get right after it the next day.
I get really nauseous in the morning. Sometimes my hands tremble a little bit. But but it only lasts for like a day.
So that's not good though. I mean, because I feel like like the three of us like to go out. Like you guys just went out, a couple nights ago for the Cavs game. But like I feel like when we wake up, like you're not, we're all young people here, under 30 years old. Like you're not like your hands aren't shaking, right, Jack?
They can shake a little bit, even if you're not an alcoholic.
So that's a buzzword that I've heard you use before. Now, I think a lot of people online would venture to say that you are an alcoholic or that you did have some sort of problem.
I may have a problem, but I'm not an alcoholic.
That's an interesting.
What would you say?
I mean, and I'm not an alcoholic in that sense. I'm just the type of alcoholic that likes to drink. I'm not the alcoholic where if I stop for a few days, I could die.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I feel like this is an interesting part of the conversation because you so you definitely are acknowledging here a little bit that you have a problem, probably on a little bit of a path of becoming an alcoholic. Okay, sure, it's maybe not to the point where if you stop for a couple,
full-blown alcohol.
It's not full blown.
Do you think, Josh? Do you think if you wanted to stop drinking, that you would have the internal power to be able to do so?
I mean, yeah, I could stop whenever I want, but like, if I like my wine or I like my whiskey, like, why should I have to stop drinking it for good? Like, if you like your coffee or you like your tea, why should you have to stop having it?
Well, I think the tiny difference would be like, if you like, I like caffeine a lot. Like I'm drinking a Pepsi at 10 a.m. Like I'm a caffeine addict. I need caffeine to wake up in the morning.
In fact, I need another energy drink.
Yeah, for sure. But like when you drink tea or coffee, you can like do other stuff. You can drive a car. Like you're not.
I don't even drive, and like if I'm in a situation like where I've been drinking too much and I can't walk, I'll just get an Uber.
Well, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's very responsible.
It is responsible, but I think where like the internet becomes concerned, Josh, is where we see these.
They can be concerned, but I have it on. I'm doing my best to keep it under control and at a more moderate level.
We have a little upper decky right there.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I'm doing my best to like do it in moderation more.
Yeah, but I just have a hard time believing that like all the way. And here's why. And I just want to talk about the reasoning why, right? Because I think it's fair to do so in this format. Like, so yesterday you were in St. Louis business
It was
trip.
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
That's why I was drinking.
Business trip, Mardi Gras. Yeah, you were having
the
fun.
weekend. It was Saturday. There's nothing wrong with drinking on a Saturday.
Doing
Yeah,
content.
but like on a Tuesday morning, on a Tuesday, I'll wait until like 8 o'clock at night to drink.
My fear, though, Josh, is the fact that we've had a flight booked, there was a very alarming text that came through my phone around 9:30 from you that said, I drank too much that I'm unable to fly, so we're going to drive to Cleveland. And I was he's going to drive.
That has nothing to do with like alcohol. It's just, it was poorly planned. I shouldn't have been scheduled to fly on such a big drinking day like that.
Okay.
Everything was like poor. Like, I think I should have gotten on a plane today and been on the show tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Josh, I know
It was our fault.
I know you're thinking like that it's not a problem, and that's for you to decide. Obviously, this is a choice only you can make for yourself. Do you see yourself like, let's say in 5 years, like if you continue to drink at the rate that you're doing, like, do you think it's sustainable?
Well, I feel like it's just a phase,
Okay.
know. Like I'll when I'm older, I'll be more responsible. I mean, a lot of people my age have had alcoholic years in their life, but usually you outgrow it.
So that's a good transition point, Josh. I want to ask, you've been on such a journey just in the last 3-4 years.
Yes.
You've been to so many places. You've seen so many awesome things. You made awesome content. Where do you see yourself, in just 2 to 5 years?
I don't know.
Is there anything you want to accomplish?
I want to have a TV show,
Okay.
Okay.
like a travel TV show.
What would you call it, Josh? Do you have any name ideas?
Yeah, let's think about that.
Yeah, start putting pen to paper.
Traveling the world. I don't know, something like.
How about Josh? What if we called it Around the Block with Joshua Block?
Oh!
We've been known to name a couple podcasts
Yeah, that's our job.
here at the network.
Yes,
Do you like Around the Block?
I do.
Little
All
play
right.
on words too.
Ryan better
Yes.
get some royalties for that. just giving out free name suggestions. That's all right. And in terms of kind of other things that you've got going on in the current, I know the streams are like a big part of what you do. When did that start up, and is that something that you enjoy doing?
It is something I enjoy doing.
Josh, I want to ask you, because I'm not as familiar as like Nick is. I'm just curious, like, how did you meet Mr. Based?
I just did.
Okay.
Yeah. And that happens in places
Yeah.
like New York, and it feels like you guys are like pretty much like live like most nights throughout the week.
Yes.
Gotcha. And I know you guys have gotten into quite a few adventures. Some recording studio stuff, some
Yes.
music is another piece of your repertoire. You got some songs out, some parody songs, kind of.
Yes.
Can I ask you about the making your own songs, Josh? Because for me, I'm not a singer in the first place, but I've never really had the voice where I could go out and sing in front of other people. Was that nerve-wracking at all for you to kind of start a musical career and like go into the studio? And
Not really.
oh wow, good for you. That's hard to do.
Just lean right into it. In these streams, it definitely feels like things could get crazy. You guys have been swatted numerous times.
Yes.
What's that like? Because it looks like when it happens, you get a little bit freaked out.
I do. It's a dangerous situation.
And could you explain what that is to people that might not be familiar with like
When
how
you're-
big you are
when
and how
you're-
big these
when
streams
you're
are?
when you're streaming in real time, IRL, when people find out your location, they'll call and say there's a bomb threat, there's a shooting, there's a kidnapping.
Really?
Yeah.
And the police have to respond to that.
Is that something that you have to deal with a lot, Josh? People trying to find your location and
Yes.
trying to mess around with you?
Yes.
I feel like too, like it's a big part of your content because you're showing off where you're traveling to, and you're posting anywhere from 25 to 50 times, sometimes in a day, all these different locations. That makes it kind of easy for people to spot you,
I know.
Yeah. And then I know that there was an arrest with Mr. Bass that was kind of one of the most frequent things before you had to leave for your business
I
trip.
don't even know what he got arrested for. He said he'll tell me when I get back.
Have you talked to him since, Josh?
Not really.
Do you know? And so maybe you won't know this, but like, do you know if he is out yet, or if he's like in a holding cell,
He's
or
out.
he's out? Okay.
He is out. Because that, like, obviously, again, another scenario where you guys were on stream, the police rolled up to you, and it seemed like kind of a frightening and confusing situation.
They arrested him. Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. They just arrested him.
Josh, what was going through your head in that moment
They
when they
said
came and
like
arrested
he had
him?
a warrant in Brooklyn for something.
So is that a thing where like I kind of think about the people who are close to me and like that I spend time with a lot, like seeing something like that happen to someone who's with me a lot or I care about is a really tough thing to go through. Or is Mr. Bass like family at all to you in a way? Like, was that like tough to see this happen, or is it more of like a business relationship?
He's a friend.
So is it
Okay.
more difficult to see then, would you say, when something
Yeah,
like
it
that happens?
was.
Okay.
Yeah, and definitely, like, I'm sure any run-in with him with the law kind of is heightened a little bit because he definitely has a little bit of a past, right?
Yeah, he's a felon.
Yeah. So do we know why? Like, because if you,
The first time he ever went to prison, he smuggled drugs from Europe.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So-
So for people that aren't familiar, Mr. Based, Jason Itzler, feel free to just Google it, because he's an individual that has come up a lot.
So I don't know the guy personally, so I can't say anything about him one way or another. I never met him. I think you should give everyone a chance when you meet them. But it definitely is someone on the outside a little bit scary, like as someone who likes your content, like to see you with
Yes.
someone who has an interesting past, like we mentioned and you said as well. Do you ever have like a little light in your head or like a maybe I shouldn't work with a guy who has a past like this? Like, does that freak you out at all?
It doesn't. I think he's changed.
Okay. Yes,
I
I mean, you
think
can
his
change over time.
arrest may have been a setup.
Oh, really? A
Oh, you
setup?
think so?
How so?
The last time he got arrested last year, he hit someone in the face with a tripod to defend himself, and that guy got mad and rubbed fake blood on his face, and then reported.
And the cops believed it?
Yeah, and then reported him to the police, and then he turned himself in.
So he didn't hurt the person with the tripod though?
No.
Did you watch it or was this like you weren't there for it?
I saw it on YouTube.
Okay.
On YouTube.
Josh, do you think that Mr. Based has, the best intentions when he collabs and does work with you?
Yes, he's got me studio sessions. I got this big streaming deal.
Yeah, so the streaming is definitely something that kind of we keep coming back to. The streaming deal, talk a little bit about that. 'Cause I know you guys have to be live a lot.
Yeah, I'm getting paid by the hour, but it's a lot of money.
Okay.
I'm not going to discuss it on television.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
Very fair.
understood. Yeah, but we've seen some of the clips where it's up there. It's a big number up there, 6 figures.
It is 6 figures.
Like good 6 figures.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say exactly how much.
And that's paid by so it's an hourly thing. So it's a ton of money every hour that you're on stream.
Yes.
So do you feel there's then got to be some sort of inherent pressure?
Yeah.
Like, like Jack, if we were getting paid here by the hour, to do the Big Factor, we would probably try to be on the Big Factor 12 hours a day, 13 hours
yeah.
a day.
Totally.
Like, do you feel like the more you're on stream, the better kind of thing?
Yes.
Checks out.
What is, if you look at like streaming by itself, is there like a favorite thing you enjoy to do on stream, or like is there a thing that you do where like people will like it in the chat, or like things that you enjoy to do that seem to make you happy and other people happy?
Not really.
Okay.
It
fair
feels like the internet's concern about the streams are, and you could here's like a opportunity for you to probably dismiss it, because I feel like that's what kind of a lot of this interview's been. Like when you're on stream, feels like you guys drink, late in the evening.
We do drink, but we wait and we don't drink during the day.
Okay. So what would you say to the people that feel like Mr. Based or some of these outside actors are like feeding you drinks, getting you drunk, want to see you party?
I'm a grown up. If I want to drink, I can do it. I'm not being forced to. But I'm grown. If I wanna drink, I can. That's my choice.
Yeah, and with that too, so like one cool thing, because like me, you, and Ryan over here are like all like about the same age. Like we would probably be the same age. Like we would be in first grade together if we were from the same town. Like one cool thing about our age is getting like a certain independence that you've never really had before in life, or like getting to be on your own more. Like you've done some super cool things, like traveling out to Japan and stuff like that.
Yes.
How cool does that feel to have your own independence and go out and do these
It's
certain
awesome.
things? That's got to be really
like
cool.
it. Yeah, Japan's cool.
I'm super happy for you that you get to go do that
Yeah.
stuff, man. Like I would not make it in Japan by myself for a week. I
You
barely speak
wouldn't.
English.
Yeah.
Josh, how is it, obviously you stay in a lot of hotels because you do a ton of traveling. How is
Yeah.
it, going from city to city, hotel to hotel? Do you feel like kind of sometimes maybe it almost feels like you don't have a home base? Like obviously New York, I would say, is probably the home base, but
Yeah.
does it sometimes feel like, does it ever get too much, all the traveling you do?
No, it doesn't.
And then when you're in New York, is there home? Like you have like an apartment there?
No. I stay at hotels a lot.
Okay. Or did you have any ambition to get your own place?
I do want my own place.
Would you
Gotcha.
want to get one in New York, you think?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good something to work for. All right, I want to do a fun segment of this or that. So we've got a couple where you pick of these two options. You'd only do one or the other. So we'll start with ice cream or cake if you're having a dessert.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Josh, I feel like that's a lie.
Night owl.
Yeah.
That's the answer I have to give too. Don't worry. I have to give the answer too.
All right. Would you rather go on an adventurous vacation or a relaxing vacation?
An adventurous vacation.
What would you say to this point in your travels has been your most adventurous vacation?
I believe going to Japan.
I feel like when you were in Japan, I saw a video of like some Japanese man
putting me in a restraint.
A citizen's arrest?
Yeah, what happened with that?
What was going on with that?
And how can he touch you like that? Is that legal?
Because you can do a citizen's arrest
In Japan? Okay.
in most countries.
Okay.
It was like I kept yelling, screaming, banging my head against the wall
How come?
What made you upset in Japan?
because American tourists were saying put the fries in the bag.
So
But
it comes back to the put the fries in the bag.
I keep saying, I don't want to. I've threatened to, quit social media and like work minimum wage again.
So I have a question for you with this, and don't get me wrong. Sometimes, like when I was a kid, my friends would like pick on me a little bit. Like I was always the little guy. The best way I've noticed in life, like when people are trying to make jokes about you or get mad at you, whatever.
But overall, the Japan trip was a fun trip, except that one little incident.
That is good.
It was. So after that incident, you have to like go speak with the authorities. Like I'm sure that was a big to do.
I talked my way out of it. There was no actual. There was no like actual arrest.
Yeah.
So if I was the
talked
people,
my way out of it.
What was that like? How'd you pull
pretend
that?
I'm the
I
people.
said
What do they
people
say?
are being mean to me. I'm a celebrity. I'm autistic.
Yeah.
Like don't arrest me.
Do you feel like sometimes the autism, do you think?
But overall, Japan was a good trip.
That's
Awesome.
good. We love hearing that. Do you think sometimes the autism like is a target, or do you think it's like a challenge? Like speak a little bit on that, because that's another unique part of your whole character arc that I think some people are familiar with, some people aren't as familiar with, and it's obviously like anything, it's a spectrum.
I know.
So how does it impact you, I guess, specifically?
Well, I feel discriminated against sometimes. Like
Yeah, and that is really tough when
some people make me feel inferior to other people.
Right.
Yeah, nobody ever wants to feel inferior, Josh. Like when they tell you to do that, and obviously it makes you upset, and I understand. Like, do you think that sometimes your reaction to it, like, do you think if maybe, you were able to brush it off your shoulder, kind of not feed into it, that, maybe people would stop saying it or say it less to you?
I don't know. Like, I've tried to ignore it.
I'm sure it's
Should we
difficult.
try at the Cavs game today?
Yeah, maybe we could try it this whole Cleveland trip, that if somebody says to put the fries in the bag,
that we're not gonna.
we're just gonna look at each other and just laugh.
I'll try not to like say anything back.
And we can do a deal, because I'm gonna be going to the game with you, and obviously I'm sure you want to have a drink at your first ever Cavs game. So if the first 5 people, because I'm sure people are gonna say it, that's just how people are. If someone says it to you, if the first 5 people if you don't say it back to them or like get mad at them, I will buy all of your drinks at the game.
Okay.
I feel like
Yes.
that's not smart though, because
I'll buy the first drink, because 5 people have to say it first before I win the challenge.
But we just don't want to freak out, because then I think we can take this where if in Cleveland you can avoid having an episode of people getting mad, then maybe we could take it back to your next place. That this is like
I want to stop having crash outs, but the way my mind works, I get triggered so easily.
Okay, yeah,
I
get
understand.
that.
Yeah, I understand. It's difficult.
We should probably kind of put our foot down too, because we just said that we weren't doing like drinks during the day. Yesterday
I'm
was an
on
exception. because
No,
of
He is on
Mardi Gras.
no, I'm on vacation, so that it's excusable. But when I'm at home, I don't.
Josh, I want you to think about it like this: like when people.
I'm a grown up.
Okay, I just want you to understand that we're like none of us are like big fans of that aspect of the. You are a grown up, that's for sure, but none of us are big fans of like, you potentially having to go to the hospital or get so sick that get so drunk that you throw up.
yeah,
Like none of us want to see any of that.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have a little bit to drink at the game, but not a lot.
Josh, I want you to think about it like this: like because
Okay,
when
I'll
people.
have a little bit, but not a lot.
All right, I think Ryan's got one for you.
When people tell you, that phrase obviously makes you upset, and I get it. Sometimes it's hard to brush it off, but think about it like this: your best way of getting revenge on them is to just not react, because the reason they're saying it, is to get a reaction out of you. If you don't react to it, they'll have done it for nothing, and they'll look stupid by you not reacting
Yes.
to it.
Yeah, like, could you imagine if someone went to the Cavs game just to tell you that, and they told you that, and you didn't respond? They just wasted their whole
They
entire
just
day.
wasted their whole day.
Yes.
And that's kind of funny. Like you could literally make somebody waste their whole day.
And I wanted to ask you too, getting a bit off topic on this.
All right, and then we're going back to this or that at some point too, because I feel like we're getting some good momentum.
yeah, this
on it.
is a great list. But I was talking with some folks earlier. Is there anything going on in your love life right now, or is that tough with travel? Like, do you kind of like put it aside when
It's
you?
very difficult with like all the traveling.
Because
Yeah.
it's probably tough to like find a day to go out or something if you have
Yes.
if you're gone all the time. Like, I'm sure you have trips planned after this one. Like, you were gone all of this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to Nashville and Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm a big Notre
University.
Dame fan, actually. That's my favorite team. I'm a big fan of them. It's a really, really cool place to go to. There's actually, there's a bar at Notre Dame that has this, like, the name of the bar is my last name, so I'm a big fan of that place.
Yeah. At Purdue, there's this.
You been to Purdue?
There's this really
well-traveled Big Ten.
crappy
Yeah.
bar. It's called Terry's Chocolate Shop. It's
I like that.
very ghetto.
Their quarterback,
Alright.
Houston Card, he's a little off, too.
Terry's
Yeah.
Chocolate Shop in West Lafayette is like a ghetto like dive bar. And when
How many people were there when you were there?
I was one of the few people.
So not many.
So do you, like, when you, like, on the times you do go out, do you like when it's, like, more empty and you can just, like, hang out and, like, talk to the people you're with? Or do you like a place that's, like, crowded, you can dance a bit?
I like more like clubby bars.
Clubby?
Clubby
Okay,
bars?
So
yeah.
like sports bar. I love sports bars.
So
Me
you're a
too.
big sports fan. This is something that I didn't know about you
Like,
before this interview.
I like
you're a
to
big sports
go
fan.
have like a margarita and have a few wings.
Yeah. Do you think, is there any chance we could make you into a Cleveland sports fan today?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah,
Alright,
Because we
alright.
also
We've got
this-
a big draft coming up here,
Yeah.
Josh, for the Browns, for the NFL.
So our football team, the Browns, is like, they're the worst team every single year. We just had a quarterback who we paid $230 million to, who had a couple of legal issues and doesn't play very well.
A lot of legal issues.
A lot of legal issues, 29 legal issues actually.
Have you heard about this, Josh? Or no?
No.
Okay, so yeah, the Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson allegedly was like getting massages that were more than just massages.
Yeah.
So we're drafting a quarterback again this year, and we're thinking there's this guy named Shadur Sanders
Yes.
from Colorado.
Yes.
He's a big TikTok. He has a couple of famous TikTok sounds too.
Right.
So it'd be a cool middle ground. But the Cavs game is going to be awesome too. They're the best team in the league right now. They're in first place.
Yeah.
And then we got you a little a bag here of shirts. But since you're going to Notre Dame and since you're going to become, because do you have a favorite NFL team or no?
I like the New York Jets.
New York Jets. Okay, so we could make you a Cleveland Browns and New York Jets fan. We got you this for your trip to Notre Dame. It's the Fighting Irish logo with the Browns head coach on there. If you want to spin that around so the camera can see it too.
There you go.
Look at that. If you wear that down to Notre Dame, you'll get some looks because that's their emblem. All right, let's get back to this or that. Books or movies?
Movies.
Movies.
Oh,
What's your
Josh.
favorite movie?
Yeah, do you have a favorite movie, Josh?
I don't.
Okay.
Do you have a couple you like, or is there any like pop off your head, one or two?
Not really.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. How about summer or winter? This is a big one for a guy that likes to travel.
Summer.
Beach vacation or mountain vacation?
Beach
Beach.
vacation.
That was easy. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Chocolate, easy. City life or country life? I know
City
that.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
easy.
had to be.
Sneakers or sandals?
Sandals.
Sandals? Okay. A lot of beach themed stuff here. I like it. Spicy food or sweet food as a foodie?
I'd say in between.
In between.
Do you ever like to go? So like, if I'm like going to the gas station, get a snack or two. Like, I like to go one sweet and one salty. Do you ever do that? Like, what do you get at the gas station?
I usually go for salty stuff like chips.
So if I stop to get gas in my car on the way to the Cavs game, and you go in to get whatever you want, what would be like the 3 things you walk out with from the gas station?
A bag of chips, a soda, and maybe a Reese's peanut butter.
I
cup.
love
yeah.
Reese's. Do you ever have the little one? Do you like the ones you have to like unwrap, the mini ones?
Yes.
Those ones are so good, dude. I'm a big fan of those. What's your favorite soda?
My favorite soda is Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola? Okay, it's a classic. You can't go wrong with it.
Classic man. All right. Would you rather text or talk on the phone?
Talk on the phone.
Talk on the phone. And then when you shop, online shopping or in store? I feel like online might be tough. Hotel to hotel.
Yeah.
Online. I like both online and in store.
Yeah. And you run an online
there's,
store.
There's nothing like there's nothing like going into the mall or walking down Fifth Avenue and shopping.
Do you
have
ever
a-
like to get samples when you go to the mall?
Yes.
I like going to the food court.
The
Annie
thing
Ann's
is with
pretzels.
those, in food courts with those samples,
Yeah.
the samples taste so good, and then when you order the real thing,
Yep.
it's not the
Do you
same.
Never
ever?
hits the same.
It's never the same. Do you ever like go through all the samples and like turn around, like take your glasses off and go back through again, try and get 2? I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Josh,
I put on like a different hat.
Yeah, we'll put on.
Did
Did you ever watch Muppets when you were growing up?
What?
Did you ever watch Muppets when you were growing up?
No.
Oh, because like sometimes the Muppets like they get on top of each other's shoulders and put on a trench coat as a disguise.
Yeah.
Josh, I gotta ask, have you ever been to Costco?
I have a Costco membership.
Do you-
Don't you love Costco? I love Costco.
Costco.
Do you know who the Costco guys are?
Yeah, I met the Costco guys. and
Really?
Oh, you
didn't
did?
have-
What were they like in person?
I don't know. They seem like normal people.
Normal?
Did you do a big boom?
Yes.
I knew it. I knew it. You can't not meet the Costco guys and not do the boom. All right, kind of wrapping up here a little bit. What are you most looking forward to here your trip in Cleveland? Because you're not going to be here all too long.
I know.
Anything specific you're looking forward to?
Not really.
All right. Doing the interview. Where's this rank on your list of favorite to least favorite interviews that you've done?
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. Well, I'm glad. World of T-shirts, the legend, Joshua Block, joining us in studio here at Big Play. Make sure to go download the Big Play Sports Network app. You watch the interview with Josh on demand for free anytime. All of our other interviews with local Cleveland legends, celebrities, athletes, all that. Josh, stay safe.
I
in
will.
Cleveland. We're gonna have some fun, and yeah.